The people that go far are actually the nicest people. Women in camera, very often you're walking into a room full of dudes. There's like a bit of confusion about what's okay to say and what's not okay to say. Are you ready to be, insert DP's name here, little bitch?
Hello and welcome back to the Scrollstop podcast. My name is Tom and I'm the director here at Scrollstop. And today I have an AC wizard here with me, and that is Hiruni. Hiruni, say hi.
Hello. I don't know which camera I'm supposed to move to, that one. Hi.
Either one works. Today we're going to be chatting about everything about the industry, getting into it as a young person, what it's like working at one of the biggest hire houses in Sydney. Hi Hiruni, thanks for coming along. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. Could you explain to the audience who you are, what your background is?
Hi, my name's Hiruni. I am pretty much straight out of afters, fresh out of film school. I did a bit of ACing while I was studying, and then right after that, I started at Limac.
Great. And is Limac like high-end stuff? Is it like, what sort of companies use the gear?
It is definitely like higher end. The average like camera package for a day is about $2,000. So definitely, it's a lot of commercials. Sydney's been quiet at the moment, so that we have had some smaller productions go through. But it's mostly like their clientele is definitely on the higher end.
Okay, and is that based in North Sydney?
Yeah, at Tarman.
Okay, yeah, great. And what's your sort of role as part of the company? Are you sort of maintaining the gear? You're working directly with customers?
So I'm a prep tech, which basically means we do all the testing, putting packages together, which is a big part of it. So it's just pretty much making sure like all your monitors and cameras and lenses all want to talk to each other well. You're not going to have any like weird issues like, oh wait, we're going to put a matte box on and you can see the whole matte box. So sorting out all of those things, making sure like all your focus units, you have the right cabling for things. And then we try to find clients, like link up clients with the right equipment. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah, great. And it sounds very technical with all the sort of cabling and stuff like that. How did you get that knowledge? Did they teach you that as part of the role? Did you have that from afters?
I knew a little bit from ACing for sure, especially like one of the harder things about starting out is like when you enter into it, there's a lot of acronyms. I remember Yeah.
Just, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that you understood that as well.
No, 100%.
So, like, I remember, like, my first week there, someone was like, oh, can you just connect up the WCU4 to the 703 and then connect the EMC to the something else and then get a signal to something else? And I was like, I understood about 50% of the words, but I feel like that's something I can manage. I mean, it is quite technical, but at the same time, like, I find gear to be, like, somewhat intuitive once you know a little bit. And then, like, the knowledge does just come as you go along. Like, if at first it's very like, oh, how many pins does the input have? How many pins are on the cable? If you put the two together, you just pray that it turns on.
Yeah, that's eight. They don't look different.
Yeah, exactly. So you can plug it in and hope to God it turns on and nothing goes wrong. And 95% of the time, that tactical make most things work.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I'm glad it's not just me. Like, I feel like everyone at the start, we all struggle with the gear side of things. Exactly. And you get very used to your kit. Like, I had a Sony kit in my last job, which was like my bread and butter. So, but like, now if I go anywhere near something Black Magic, I'm like, It's like, I know in general what's right here, but some of the specifics, like finding where the ports are on cameras and stuff like that, I feel like that knowledge sort of, unless you're using it every day, can sort of slip, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And then that's like everybody when I first started there, I mean, and also just in the AC world, it's like, it's a lot of Arris. And everyone's like, Arri. And then like, once I got into it and like saw all the Canons and the Sonys and stuff come through, you're like, oh, this is why everybody likes Arris. It's because like 95% of the time, everything in the Arri menus and everything is just like exactly where you expect it to be.
Yeah.
And then in everything else, it's just like, you can find everything when you're looking for it. But you are looking for it.
Yeah, you're looking for it.
Yeah.
And there's a time window where everyone's staring at you going, come on, get the change done, let's go.
It's just standing over your shoulder being like, why isn't it working? And then panicking in the corner, and the AD is just there like, come on people, we're burning time. Let's go.
Oh, like that is a universal experience.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Right.
So with Levac, is it mostly ARRI sort of gear that you're working with, or is it a mix of standards?
Definitely, like for the higher end stuff, ARRI is like the request, but there are also plenty of productions that can't afford ARRIs. When all of the big jobs take the ARRIs, then we obviously want to sort out everybody else as well, right? So we do have a bunch of other ones that we can set people up as well. And then people who have something that they want to use as a B cam, like I don't know, Sony's, of course, but Blackmagic's. I don't have any Blackmagics in the system now that I think about it, but Canons, like those RC5s and stuff like that, R5C.
Yeah, like the mini...
The little, the mirrorless bodies. Then people will want something in the same brand to shoot like as their ARRI cam. So that, there are some other ones, but mostly ARRIs.
Okay, yeah. I guess it's great that you get to have so much hands-on time with them. So now when you are on set, you can just like snap, quick, ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's hopefully what's going to happen. But, even still, like, every job is always going to be different. And that's not even considering how many different monitors there are out there and, like, all of the other gear that isn't, like, just the camera and the lens. And
yeah, all the peripherals out there. I'm guessing you would have had, like, being able to rub shoulders with some pretty interesting people if you're working with that sort of high-end gear, right? Like, you don't have to name drop, but like, are there any good stories with cinematographers that have come in or anything like that?
Once again, I won't name drop, but it is so interesting to see like big DPs that are like very well known. Some of them come in and they're so low-key, so chill that you almost don't expect like that they're like this huge deal. Like I mentioned earlier, like one of the DPs that came in and we like had a full conversation where he was going next, walked out the door, and I knew I'd heard the name before, did a little Google search on IMDb, and it's like, done like second unit stuff on Aquaman. And
like big name stuff,
which is really insane, because then the reverse of it's also there, where someone's like just really being so demanding, knowing that we can't make it work for the budget, blah blah blah, still asking, going back and forth with production, and then like they walk in like you're expected to know about them.
Oh yeah, the ego.
Like, think they can like be an asshole to you about not to like me direct, not like in a very direct kind of like way, but yeah, it's just really mixed bag. Well, one of the guys that had worked there for like 30 years actually once just said, just like offhandedly, that like some of the people that go far are actually the nicest people. And it's almost like this, I don't know if it's like a catch-22, but it's almost like you have to be nice to actually get work in this industry. And it's like, whoa, what a revolution.
No, it's definitely true, because like when I think back to when I'm recruiting for jobs, or when people have reached out to me, it's usually because we have a good personal connection. It's not because they're like, oh wow, yep, he did this, so then we'll bring him in again because he had that knowledge. It's usually he's great to have on set, or she's great to have on set, and they can get the job done as well. But it's more that having that positive influence in the sort of the whole project that's more important, right?
Yeah, and like you're on set, the day is like at least 10 hours long. Yeah. And like you got to get along with the people you're hanging out with, and like you don't want to be nervous and like walking on eggshells over like personalities when you're with people. And yeah, just being a good person to work with, I feel like, is a thing that makes the biggest difference. Yeah,
definitely. Have you had any experiences on set where people haven't been that great? Like, again, we will leave out names as always. But have there been any times where you've just been like, I don't know how you've gotten here with that attitude?
I'm laughing because I can think of so many.
I was going to say, that was a very like prepared laugh.
I mean, once again, like, the biggest thing for me is like women in camera is like getting better now, but very often you're walking into a room full of dudes, and sometimes there's like a bit of confusion about how to like act and like what's okay to say and what's not okay to say, and like oftentimes it's like crude jokes that just don't go over very well. So that's definitely a big one. There have been some people, there was actually one person who I met them, introduced myself, and was like, hi, I'm gaffing for so-and-so today. And they're like, oh, great. Are you ready to be, insert DP's name here, little bitch? And I was just like, hello, nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Like within 10 seconds. Oh my God.
Interaction I ever had with this person.
Jesus.
Right?
It's shocking.
Shocking, absolutely. And then there's also like the odd things where people just get a bit snappy, but I don't know. You kind of...
I feel like that comes through
happens,
anytime. Yeah, it's just long days. If people are hungry or anything might just set people off like that.
I will say though, one of the worst stories that I've heard is a camera crew going off at like a producer who had driven like 45 minutes. They were in the middle of nowhere, driven 45 minutes to go get these people Red Bulls. Because they just really needed their caffeine. And they had what I can only imagine is a hysterical meltdown because the Red Bulls weren't sugar-free.
You're kidding. That's what they threw their shit over?
Correct. And it wasn't even that that I was like recounting this story to another friend who knew of the people, and they're like, oh, did they have a suck about it because the Red Bulls weren't sugar free? And I'm just there, and they'd be like, oh, this is like a common occurrence. I'm sorry, what?
No. This is known across multiple people.
Apparently, but we didn't know
shit.
that.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh my god, that infuriates me. If there's something so little that can like ruin your that's totally unprofessional. Just but
it's also just like the common courtesy of like, you're in the middle of nowhere and
Yeah.
this person made the effort to go get Red Bulls.
a whole 45 minutes. Like it's not as if we just like walk down to the shop or to the the canteen on set. Like it's that frustrates me to no end. I'm mad on your behalf. Oh my god. Well, I guess there has to be like some good stories, though, like some good mentors and stuff that you stumble across along the way, right?
So many. Just everybody, like, I mean, I'm sure you can kind of speak to this as well, but like when you're in school, you're in such a different learning environment to what you're in on set. You rely on a lot of people who know more than you to like teach you and like just make whatever they can a learning moment for you, teach you about gear. And like one of the hardest things I think in a set is like just knowing where to stand. If
Yes.
you haven't, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Because if you're either in front of a light, you're in someone's way, and just like for someone to just be kind and just be like, that is not where you're supposed to be, until like you can figure those things out for yourself. So helpful. I remember actually there was like the person who taught me how to call a slate was just like, it takes a few like tries, I guess, to get it right. And it probably took them flagging like something I did wrong probably 5 times over before I finally got the hang of it. And it's like, it's a theoretically such a simple thing, but
yeah, I feel like there's a lot of pressure that builds on that moment as well. It's like, if you get it wrong, they're like, no, everyone slow down. You go restart. Like,
but then if you take too long to do it, then the operators are getting cranky. The director's just sitting there like waiting to call action, and like, yeah, it's like the most public thing you do if you're a second AC. Like, you're in your head, you're managing how to keep things turned on, and like if you stumble, then everybody hears it too.
Yeah.
And like when you're doing it for the first time, it's like you don't know how much of it you're supposed to read, like what you're supposed to say. So all of those things, like you have to be taught. And like, yeah, I'm just so lucky that I had the first like set I was ever a second AC on. I annoyed this guy so much because everything I did was wrong some way.
Yeah.
Like we got some of it right for sure, but it was just like, oh, you actually shouldn't put a case there. Oh, okay, where am I supposed to put a case? Should I put it over there? No, you can't put it over there either. By day 5 though, we were rolling sweet. And then
buddies, yeah.
And then every shoot I was on after that, they were like, oh, you've done this before, you've been trained up. And I was like, it's my second shoot, but I'm glad we didn't off
wear that badge proudly.
Hell yeah. So yeah, plenty of amazing mentors, and also just like a lot of people that are just phenomenal emotional support as well.
Oh, that's good.
Because it's just hard when you're starting out. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's I remember the first time I was on a proper set, I was just like a visitor basically out.
Yeah.
But instantly as I walked onto set, I was like, I don't know where I can stand and not be in the way and not be someone's problem. And so I just like tapped like the producer like on the shoulder. It's like, hey, so like I've never done this before. Where can I stand and not be in the way? Or like, and they're just like, oh, just go over there. Oh, actually, and then for one setup, I was just on a balcony off in the distance. And then the next setup, they put me behind the director. And so I was packing it as the director's there, you know, like watching everything on his monitor, like the actors were coming in and like they just started chatting with me. And I was like, you know, little like 17-year-old me was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is such a cool experience. Yeah.
Whoa,
So that was a great experience to have first, before any sort of serious shoot where there was any sort of negativity.
Yeah.
So,
and before you're expected to do anything as well.
Yeah, I just got to sort of watch everything and go, wow, it's so quiet. Oh, they have radios on. They're all just chatting on the radio. Oh, that makes so much more sense. It's like putting together the puzzle before I'd even seen the pieces sort of thing. So, no.
Radio is also phenomenal because otherwise you just have everybody yelling across the room at each other, which is also...
Yeah. I worked corporate before starting this place, and it was a team of 2. And I really wish that we had radios sometimes because we'd be set up, you know, off angles and stuff. And one of us would need to go fix something. We'd have to just communicate via eye contact, just like... There was like a CEO in the corner of the room being filmed, and it's like, we can't freak them out that something's gone wrong, but also something has gone very wrong. Like stuff like that. It's just, it's nightmare fuel.
But like you work with people for a while, even if you're not on radios, like I feel like you understand the, oh shit, something just hit the fan look very well. And then like you see everybody just like run in and just like start ripping batteries off of everything, flicking things on and on madly, being like, why did we just lose signal? What's going on? Where did it go wrong? Like,
yeah, that's just the drooping face and then the frenzy. Yeah.
And then you're also like, am I supposed to, does that involve me? But like I'm like glad to say like it does get so much easier.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, with your time as an AC or first or second, what were some of the sort of oh shit moments that you had? Were there anywhere it was like, you don't have to own up to it, but it might have been your fault or something like that? Or was there anything that you were just like, I'm really glad that didn't happen, but it could have, like stuff like that?
I remember there was one particular one that like we were shooting our grad film, running 3.5 hours like behind.
As all grad films have to be, yeah.
And my second, bless their soul, because I have been there. I have been that second who's doing it for the first time and trying so hard, but there just being like a few too many things to keep track of. And I'm like operating B cam because we didn't have 2 camera operators, and A cam just goes. It's like it just turns off.
And it just dies.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And we'd rented block batteries, and it was plugged into said rented block battery that was supposed to have about 2 days of charge in it.
Oh no, that's...
We didn't, in my head, something went wrong at the split, like at the big video split, not in the camera.
Yeah.
And then like my camera assistant, bless him, who also I recently saw his name on the Fall Guy credits.
Oh shit.
Yeah, right. And I was just like, he was just like way overqualified to be there, but I just like see him go for it and just like start doing the same, like off and on, pulling batteries, switching batteries, whatever. Yeah. And the AD walks in and just goes, I just hear so many people saying seconds away, and I don't know what's happening. Guys, what is going on?
Oh no.
But the thing is, like, this guy was the only one that was panicking. So I then see like a lovely producer come in and just like gently usher him out. And then we're just like going, oh, what if we can't like... this camera, like, it's a black magic. We knew it was power hungry, and we knew if it had to start running it off of just regular ones, we'd be having to switch out those batteries every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I once again love my second, but I was a bit nervous about having him deal with that situation as well. Yeah. But eventually we figured out that we had... second part of the story, he looks over at the second and goes, remember when I said there was that thing in my van that we were going to use in case of an extreme emergency? Can you go and get that out of the keys? This guy goes down, comes back, and we're like looking at this like homemade block battery that we're not sure if we're supposed to plug into the camera, and he just goes, just in case something bad happens, I don't want to be the one who plugs it in. So I take it in my hand, and I was like, that's 26 volts. That can take 26 volts. Let's just give it a good old go. turns on, runs fine for the rest of the shoot.
Beautiful.
And we're getting half a day out of a block. It's fine. It's chill. Got the film shots. So.
Love that. Better than trying to use fucking V-Locks with those. Was it an Ursa? Like
it was
G2?
An Ursa.
Yeah,
G2.
yeah.
Yep.
It's all, we all know. As all film students know.
Yeah. Which is why it's like we'd gone to the trouble of renting a blocky. It was my mate's Ursa too, so we're like, no, we're not running this thing off V-Locks. So I later on my next job found out that love you, but their blocks are known for being like that.
Oh,
so,
really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's a little red flag.
That, but,
no, we'll leave that one out.
They were like, oh yeah, we were on this show, and they literally had to get like half a truck's worth of block batteries just to be able to make sure they got through the show. They're
Oh
just,
my
like,
god!
Big shit. But
wow. Okay, that's good for me. I'm gonna write that down. Because of a future notice, just don't go get there. Don't touch it.
Oh, get 3.
Yeah, just
get 3.
Just have a backup and then a backup and a backup.
The backup, exactly.
Exactly.
So that one can charge while you run the other 2 down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh wow, that's a stressful one.
Definitely had like moments of knowing, I am pretty sure that's where I put the hot card. I don't fully know why, or like you get handed a card and you're like, why am I being handed an SD card? Is this for me to format? And especially if it's like a poor runner who's just like, I've been told to give this to you, and you're like, can I format this?
Yeah, because it's like there's many things that I could do right now, and all of them could be catastrophic.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like I need a card, but I don't have time to go run this in a computer to see what the hell's in this. I don't want to be the intrusive person who interrupts everything to go stick it in the camera, but it would be lovely if anybody knew.
It's like you almost want to have a little pocket mirrorless camera like tacked to your belt so you can just flick through what's on there.
No, but they're like the giant CFast cards too, so it's not like you can even do that.
Oh, wow.
No, we've had plenty of, I mean, like when you're a second AC, like your job is lenses, cards, and batteries, so you're in charge of keeping the rushers safe and keeping everything turned on.
You know, when you put it like that, you just begin to realize there's a lot more responsibility in that role than I feel like a lot of people
you
put
only see
into
them
that.
go in and clap the slate, but you realize that's a thing. If you fuck up, it matters.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all the other things that you're doing and you have to keep track of. Yeah, they are critical to the shoot.
Yeah, and then like you're the one that's like wrangling cards at the end of the day. Sometimes at 2 or 3 in the morning when you've been, awake as long as everybody else. And yeah, that's, as the baby in the room, that is your job.
Yeah, well, it's trial by fire, right?
Exactly.
If you get it wrong, you won't be seen on a set again. But if you get it right, you'll be there for all the time.
But it is good fun.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Did you have like a best experience that you've had so far? Like, is there any memory that you look back on from being on set that you're like, you know what, that was the best moment of my career so far, or the most exciting?
Oh, I had one where I had been sort of drafting a letter to send to this incredibly amazing DP, Tanya Lambert. And it was like kind of as like a school project thing that we were supposed to like apply to be mentored by someone. And I get a phone call the day before a shoot was supposed to happen for a commercial, and they're like, hey, we're looking for a camera attachment. Would you be around tomorrow? I was like, I'm not doing anything. And I was like, yeah, of course, I'd love to be there. Get the call sheet. DOP, Tanya Lambert.
Oh my god.
Right? That's so sick. Just like, and I was like, oh my god, I'm about to go meet her. Yeah. Not only that, I go into this set and I didn't realize just how huge it was going to be. So just past half day rolls around and the grips just roll in and it's a crane.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, oh, not what I was expecting from, but it's those last minute jobs where it's like, hey, are you around tomorrow? And you just rock up and you just never know what's gonna happen, and you're like, oh great, here is one of my heroes. Watched everything she's ever done to try to write this letter off and pass it off as definitely not fangirling, but she's like in flesh and blood, and oh shit, she's talking to me.
It's like you're just there, like bright red, just like hi.
Yeah. but then it's also like everybody else is chill and like having their little breakfast and they're like going about, you know, their merry way, and it's just another day at work for them, and you're just like starstruck. And when you've worked on a student budget and like lower level things, it's just like to see that amount of money just like in the room, how many people there are on a 2-day shoot, like absolutely mesmerizing.
It's been amazing. And did you get to sort of work hands-on with her throughout the experience?
Sure. Yeah, and she was so lovely. And yeah, she emailed me back, and I've been. She actually invited me to come sit in on the color grade with her at some point.
Amazing!
Very keen for
That's
that.
so exciting. Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have to have a follow-up so I can hear more about that.
She's been so wonderful, and just offered to mentor, and yeah, I've just learned that some of the higher up people in this industry are some of the loveliest people. And yeah, I've learned to just like not be shy about reaching out, I think, since that experience, because everybody's just so human and like looking for people to mentor as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And if there's one project that you could get called to work on tomorrow, someone's listening right now and they're just like, you know what, I've got this amazing project. What would it be? What would you think?
To be honest, I know this is like maybe the most boring of answers, but I do love just people that are doing smaller projects at the moment. So I don't know. I am actually just really keen to get some of my own stuff going.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, just get some friends involved and just shoot some stuff, make some music videos. You know?
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. What sort of stuff are you thinking? Like short film, music video? Do you have any like scripts or plans in the works?
Music videos are definitely very much on the radar. We are just with a bunch of friends try to make them happen, sort of like very low budget, dirt cheap, make them happen quickly. But it is also tricky to figure out, like, it's not just about shooting it, how are we going to get it through post?
Yeah.
With all of us working full time.
Yes. That's the hard part. Yeah.
But yeah, music videos are like we're chatting about. Scripts, I've been trying to write a little bit more. I'm just terrible at writing endings. So
that's the hard part. Yeah,
it's the hard part. And like you just don't want to make them drag out for very, very long. So I've got 2 scripts, both without an ending.
Okay. So screenwriters, take note.
Yeah, actually, if any screenwriters want to come and finish my 2 scripts for me, that would be the dream call tomorrow. Be like, Hiruni, I finished your script.
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be a blessing from the gods.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Also plenty of events. Like I'd love to go to, like the NAB show has just happened, but there's a few other Cine Gear expos and stuff happening in LA soon. Would love to go to that one day. Yeah. If someone was to take me with them on a plane to that expo.
Fingers crossed. We'll click that and just send it out to all the production houses.
To everybody, yeah.
Young visionary cinematographer, lady cinematographer Hiruni.
Just really wants to go see some gear, like make it happen. Would love to get into steady operating. Just going to put that out into the universe. We've been having a play with the vests in at Limac, so... would like when the courses start going, I'd love to get into that. The gear's just incredibly expensive, and you have to buy it, and you can't rent it. Yeah. So maybe if you buy a Steadicam and stick it in here, everybody will be in here.
Yeah, that would be in round 7 of the tech upgrades, but we're currently on round 0. So once we get up to there, I'll give you a call.
Please, and I'll be in here every day with the Steadicam.
No, well, thanks so much for coming on and coming for a chat. And how can everyone find you?
I'm just Hiruni.film on Instagram, HIRUNI.film.